Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming,
basketball,
netball
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
It's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Guys, Real Sport, Bar TV.
Well, welcome to Lowell Peacock Field. It's round 11 of the Real NRL, and it's very good to have you with us here live on Bar TV. And this should be an absolute belter this afternoon between Macquarie and Cessnock. We might start by going through the teams. For Macquarie, number 1, Nathan Cantor. On the wings, Matt Hay and Malik Diallo. The centres, Thiessen Favielli and Royce Jeffrey. The halves, Andrew Sumner. He's playing his 100th game today. Michael Moran's the halfback. The props, Matt Jeffrey and Adam Swadling. The hooker is Chris Hyde. In the back row, Josh Schmiedel, Simon Allen and Blake Gallen. And on the bench, Randall Briggs, Isaac Briggs, Jordan Noble in 16 and Khan Yonke in 17. Now for Cessnock, the fullbacks Geordie Connolly, the wings Joe Woodbury and Brendan Williams, the centres Jared Edwards and Sean Metcalf, the halves Willie Hetta and Liam Foran, the front row Dan Metcalf and Noah Easton with the hooker Josh Dimmick, in the back row Alec Fattar in 11, Reid Hugo in 12 and Brendan Halad in 13. And on the bench, Brett Stevens, Cal Orchard, Sam Abthorpe and Corey Barber. My name's Morgan Campbell. I'm going to be taking you through the game today. And with me, it's Josh Mason. Good afternoon, Josh. Who do you fancy today and why?
Hey Morgan, nice day for footy. Look, it's a tough one. It's going to be a pretty even battle, I think. So obviously pretty cliched footy stuff, but it's going to be run up front. Both pretty big packs, especially Macquarie, very aggressive and got some in-form guys like, Schmiedel, probably the player of the comp at the moment for mine.
Yeah, be in the top few.
Yeah, he's just making so many line breaks. He's got pace. He's big. He's the full package. But then Cessnock as well, mate. They've got skill and they've got size out wide as well. I'm inclined to go with the home team because we're here. So I'll tip Macquarie. But look, it's a coin toss.
Well, in round 4 when these teams played, it's worth noting that Macquarie absolutely towed up Cessnock in a big upset early in the season, 38-18, and that was generous to Cessnock. 38-18 to Macquarie there, and they were at the races from the first kickoff and absolutely trampled them. It was a bit of a turn-up. I don't think Macquarie are too far away this season. The way they attack, if they can tighten up their defence a little bit in a very even competition, they can make a little bit of a run at it late on. So this is a big day for them. If they were to win, they'd go on to 12 points. They'd be 6 points clear of 6th place, and I reckon we'd almost have our top 5 sorted for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I think when you put it like that, I mean, that shows the size of today's match. And for Macquarie, exactly like you said, 2 more points and they can pretty much lock it away. Makes it, lock it away for them, but make it really difficult for Curry and Central and Maitland there as well. There's not much between those bottom 3. This will really put the gap on the rest of the field. And then really, look, they're only a point or 2 away from, they'll only be a point off Cessnock by that stage. And big results for the other matches today can really change that whole sort of 3, 4 and 5 position. Not so much the top 2, but everything else under that's up for grabs.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There are 2 other games on today. The other one's about to kick off as well. That's Wests versus Curry at Curry. The other game's on at 4 o'clock today. That's Lakes and Maitland at Belmont. And, of course, tomorrow, Central playing South at Townsend Oval. Top of the table at the moment, Lakes on points difference on 14 points. They're level with Wests. And then Cessnock a third on 13. So they could go as high, theoretically, as high as top this weekend, or be as low as fourth at the end of the weekend, depending on how results go. South, fourth place on 12, and then Macquarie on 10. So this is one of those games that will sort out the bottom half of the table and the top half of the table, you would imagine. The referees are out on the field. There's a bit of clapping going on, so that might tell us that the Macquarie side are on their way out. Led out by the Big 10, Adam Swadling. I see they've got the juniors on board today, running out onto the field.
Yeah, look at that. Obviously, there's plenty of stuff going on this weekend with the Mark Hughes Foundation. So I know there's people rattling tins around here and wearing beanies everywhere for Wear a Beanie for Brain Cancer Day. And looks like those buckets are getting pretty full. So if you haven't already donated, I'm sure we'll mention it a few times throughout the match, but get down to your local footy ground, head out to one of your league's clubs, and reach into your pocket.
Yeah, it might not quite be beanie weather just yet, but by the time the 4 o'clock chill gets here, I suspect it won't be far away. Here comes the Cessnock side out onto the field, and we've got the face-to-face handshake here.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's
You
a
do?
good thing. Yeah, I do. I mean, look, if I'd said it to me 10 years ago, I would have said, there's no way it's going to happen. But it's a good initiative from the CRL. We talk about this one a lot, and it's... look, I don't think the boys mind it too much.
No.
You get to eyeball these fellas.
No,
and
that's right.
bell
It
them.
sort of reminds me of what they do in the A-League soccer a little bit before the big derby games. You know, they sort of both stand about 10 yards from the halfway line and just stare each other down. This is much more genial. So
It is, isn't it?
It is. It's not trying to build it up too much. It's just a bit of sportsmanship. So it's a slightly different focus, you'd have to say. So it looks like Cessnock are going to be kicking off here. Willie Hetta takes the ball. The referee, incidentally, today is Tom Aylett. Now, that's a bit of a promotion for him. He was running the line last week. There's been a bit of musical chairs with the referees this season.
Has been.
I noticed Graham Stairs back in reserve grade this week after a couple of weeks in first grade. But Tom Aylett's the referee. Greg Ryan and Cassandra McDonald are on the lines. So all is in readiness here.
I think it's time. Obviously, the refs. It's a big season or big time of year for the referees too. Appointments coming up for finals.
Yep.
So they're working hard as well. They all want to play and ref that grand final, especially finals in the middle. So Tom gets his chance to be back in the mix.
Away we go. Kick-off in round 11. Macquarie and Cessnock at Toronto, and it's going to be a brisk start here because they're going to throw the ball straight away. And Macquarie, they've thrown it forward. Dear, oh dear. Well, I think that was Andrew Sumner down there, and they've tried to spin it straight off the kick-off and thrown a forward pass.
Yeah,
It's got to be about the worst possible start.
Yeah, it's certainly it's you talk about coach killers. Well, that's one of them right there. I guess maybe it could be worse right at the back of the game, but hey, it's not a good way to get involved with that. Get our first chance to pull up a replay. Actually, it's just picked up the last of that ball. Now we've got a new replay partner too, Morgan.
Yes.
William Hill,
As,
the betting agency. So it'll be the William Hill replay,
uh-huh.
and you can get involved with the guys at William Hill by typing in the Bar TV 15 code if you're signing up, and they'll match your bet, give you a few bonuses along the way. Obviously, you've got to gamble responsibly, as we all would.
Here's Cessnock attacking responsibly here, away to Dan Metcalf over on the right-hand side. He's going to throw a pass. Connolly out there to Sean Metcalf. He might be too big and strong. He's not far away. He's held up. We've got the canteen in the way here, so I'm working off the screen at the moment. Dimmick out there to Hetta. Hetta flat to Easton. He's been immense the last few weeks for Cessnock, and he's up and going again. And he's going to almost get the ball down. He's not far away at all. Absolutely right up on the line here, Cessnock. Out the back to Hetta. And Foran. Back inside. Bit of a flick pass. Very nice back inside to Fatah. A metre out again. They're throwing plenty at them here on last tackle. Foran set up to the left. They go that way. They're up quickly out wide. And a slips catch from Michael Moran. Get him over to the Ashes. That was lovely.
Wasn't that beautiful? So pressure off.
Knock on. Could it be? Nope.
No, got away with that one, I think. Tom saw the forward pass, but he didn't see that one.
So Macquarie have to work it away. Take two. They've dodged a bullet there, having lost the ball off the first play of the game. Didn't incur the punishment of a try. Bit of invective towards the referee early here. Here's Cessnock. He can do a bit of damage, and he's done some straight away. He's got support as well. It's Sumner in his 100th game, and he's up over the 30. He's finally brought to ground in a really good tackle by Brendan Williams. They're looking right here. They go that way. Long ball out there to Gallen, out there to Moran. Moran back inside. This might be Schmiedel. They'll hope not. Here he goes. Some soft defence from Cessnock early. What's given? That's last tackle. Last tackle. So they turn it over. A bit of a mistake in the end there from Macquarie. Josh Schmiedel goes down with the ball. And so action at both ends of the field inside the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, it's what we want to see. I mean, Macquarie defended quite well on their line only a minute or so ago. So had a couple of big charge from Metcalf out wide, held him up, pushed him back into the field of play. And then they fired a few more shots on the left flank. But Macquarie did well. Then they made a bit of a break. And so end-to-end at this stage.
Yeah, a good brisk start to the game. So Dimmick's into dummy half here. And he's looking for Brendan Halad. Cessnock coach will be concerned by that early miss on Cessnock. He's terrorised plenty of defences already this season. So they go across here to Foran. They're going to spread the ball. And he's away there. And over they go with Edwards. It's back inside to Woodbury, but he's gone without it. And that'll be a knock on. But plenty of attacking intent early from Cessnock here. Jared Edwards, very dangerous. They'd have to be the biggest pair of centres in the history of rugby league, you'd imagine.
They're terrifying, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's a tough defensive
maybe Mel Meninga and Choppy Close. That'd be about it.
Yeah, they might pick them off, but I'll tell you what, they're big boys.
Yeah, they certainly are. They play
We'll
the power
have a look
game,
at this.
Cessnock.
We'll go to the William Hill replay and have a check of this pass.
Yeah, he just overran it. It was just to his left and a bit low there for Joe Woodbury. So he left it behind at full pace. Macquarie can start again, 5 short of halfway. And a penalty, the first of the day from Tom Aylett. Just a bit too much work in the tackle there. Can't get away with that sort of thing now. We're talking of the referees earlier, of course, in this era of Bar TV and replays on YouTube all week. There's nowhere to hide for the referees. There's no... They can't
get scrutinised a little more. Look,
exactly right.
We talked to them all, and they're happy with it. I mean, it obviously they're always out there to improve their game as well.
Yeah.
So less mistakes, it's good for football all around.
So that was Josh Schmiedel taking it up. First tackle there. He's been so dangerous the last few weeks. Now here's Moran out the back to Sumner. Good pace in this attack already. And now it's Cantor and Royce Jeffrey. And he goes down over there.
Isn't he a handful too?
Certainly is. Getting better all the time. Now it's Allen. And they're trying to straighten up the attack here. Hyde's going to be dangerous in there. Out to Gallen. Gallen to Moran. They're up quickly on him and they might regret it because he's passed one. But good defence from Cessnock in the end. But Jared Edwards is a long way from home at marker there. And they might be short to this side. Here's Sumner. Puts it in low. There's a race on out there and it's Matt Hay.
That's a try. Let's see what he says here.
I think he might have got it down.
That's a try.
He has. Great piece of work from Matt Hay. We'll have a look at the replay. But so quick to get onto that ball. It's a very narrow in goal here. But the kick was perfectly weighted from Andrew Sumner. And Hay had the pace. We'll cue that replay up in a moment. But an early try here for Macquarie. 4-0 after 6 minutes. We've talked on the coverage before about the kicking game of Andrew Sumner, and that was another example. He just rolled it in, and it was only millimetres in it, I suspect.
Oh, there's absolutely nothing in this. I'll bring this up in a second, just trying to cue it up now.
Cessnock, incidentally, is looking like he's going to be goal kicker today.
So we'll go to the William Hill replay.
Let's have a look. So it was Hyde out of dummy half, onto the boot. And, it's very, very close. He's got about half a metre there. I think that with Jared Edwards having to come in and make that tackle, the play before, Joe Woodbury had to be up in the line. And he was beaten for pace turning around there.
He's just got past them. And, yeah, no problem at all with the put down.
The bounce ended up doing him a favour, the way it rose up like that. It slowed everything down, gave him time to get there.
I mean, really, too, in this day and age of football, they just score those tries, don't they? I mean,
the wingers close to the line, close to the corner post, they're sensational.
Yeah, you're really seeing it at a local level. It's week in, week out.
The ball's just never dead.
Yeah.
So Teeson Favielli's got the ball on the tee here. 7.5 minutes gone here. The Scorps with the early try. He's coming in. It's on its way. It doesn't look too bad. No, it's waved away. Round the back of the post there from Teeson Favielli. So 8 minutes gone in the game. Macquarie 4, Cessnock 0.
So interesting start to this game. Macquarie forward pass from the kickoff. Held Cessnock out, made a couple of breaks, and ended up getting down the other end of the field and crossing the line.
Big kickoff there from Cessnock, but they come back with it, do Macquarie. And that looks like it might be Matt Hay again there coming back. So he's getting through plenty of work early on. Cessnock are a very hard team to dumping tackle. He was very close to blowing the whistle there, Tom Aylett. Yeah, Cessnock are a very hard team to read this season. They look like world beaters one week, wooden spooners the next. They've had some huge wins, knocked over Wests in round 1, came back from 16 points behind to draw with Maitland in round 2. They've had some good patches of form and some very bad patches of form, and you just never know which side's going to turn up. And that was a bit of a high pass there from Blake Gallen, but reeled in pretty well. And Macquarie on last tackle. Moran, I think, will have to use his sand bucket after that kick. And Joe Woodbury's going to get it on the 40.
I think the same could be said for a lot of teams this season with the hot and cold style of play. I mean, besides really Lakes and West that have set the benchmark and had gone on some really big winning streaks, the rest have looked a bit like that as well. One week you think they could be favourites to take it out, and then next week they come out and get rolled. So
do you think it might be something to do with the draw and the fact there's a lot of weeks off? It's hard to get continuity.
Yeah, talking to the players, I think they feel a little bit like that. It has helped, I think, with some injuries and allowing you to try and keep a full strength.
Here goes Geordie Connolly. Connolly's away. He gets a pass away to Brendan Halad, and Cessnock have got their first try. Geordie Connolly, there wasn't a lot on there, but he just busted the first tackle, got his way through, and found the flick pass for Cessnock to go in.
So drawing 4-all. Halad, what a warhorse Halad is.
He certainly is. But Geordie Connolly, it doesn't matter. He could drive the bus to the ground. He plays every position. He's played second row, hooker, fullback. I'm told last season he had a crack at 5'8". But he makes himself very hard to handle. Very evasive runner with the ball. And even though he doesn't look that big, he just seems to beat a lot of one-on-one tackles, and that was the story there.
Yeah, there's room to move in the middle of the ruck there too. They're sort of poking their head through when Halad backing up. The producers missed that one on the replay, so we'll have to see if Halad crosses again. We can give him a replay on the next one.
That's a bit rough for a lock forward, isn't it?
I know.
He scores the try and no replay.
You'll have to drag it back on your browser at home. Check that one out as well. You can tweet us in as well. Hashtag Bar TV Sports if you want to get involved in the commentary. And you can find us on Facebook and drop some comments on there as well if you want. And we'll do our best to respond.
So this is Willie Hetter moving in. Very short run-up. Very economical, but he's put it over. 6-4, so Cessnock back in front. 11 minutes gone here on Bar TV. Morgan Campbell and Josh Mason taking you through it.
So not a lot of penalties. Game's flowing relatively well at this stage, so no time off. It's the way we want to see it. It is an incredibly good day for football. It definitely, it's warm, very dry track. Looks amazing out here as well.
I was just talking to someone who's seen a bit of local football over the last 5 decades, and he said he's never seen this ground looking better. It's an absolute billiard table, apart from the crop circles in the middle from the soccer lines. It looks absolutely fantastic. So whoever the ground staff are, they're doing a terrific job. We're underway again. And Nathan Cantor sent that one into orbit. It's taken over there by Liam Foran. And Noah Easton comes back. He'll have a very, very strong claim to player of the season at the end of this year, certainly for Cessnock. He's been immense for them all year and getting better every week. As here's Dan Metcalf, his front row partner, and he will use the ball. Sean Metcalf now. And they're up to the 30 on second tackle. Now Halad. Very slow play the ball there, a lot of work on it. And Hetter's going to kick from inside his 40 on only the third. And this is a dangerous looking kick. It's heading towards the touchline. Cantor's got to get the bounce. He doesn't get the bounce. Jared Edwards gets the bounce. And Jared Edwards scores.
Well,
there didn't look to be a lot on there. The kick just pitched the wrong way. And Cantor, in trying to cover the 40-20, let it bounce. And Jared Edwards steamed onto the bounce. It fell right into his lap. And he was able to run 20 metres and score. What a turnaround in this game, 10-4.
I tell you what, kicking on the third, that's pretty clever, isn't it? They caught him out there at the back. Great chase. Awkward bounce for the Macquarie side, that is. Great bounce for the Cessnock boys. And what a try.
Yeah, a bit of ingenuity there from Hetter, kicking on third tackle. I thought he was unlucky not to get the 40-20, but I reckon he'll take that result.
Yeah, I think he was going for the 40-20, obviously. So, both options were there, and came back in field. We'll have a look at it on the William Hill replay. Here we go. So, well and truly inside the 40.
And the bounce was on. You can see Cantor scurrying across there, but the bounce turned him around, and there wasn't really a lot he could do about it. Yeah, it would be harsh to place too much fault with Nathan Cantor there. When the ball bounces one way, makes you turn around in a circle and then spins away from you. Well, what can
bounce, that was a 40-20 for all money.
Yep.
We'll just watch this here. He's just that has dead set gone back 90 degrees.
That's the trouble with the rugby league ball, isn't it? As Hetter, he's not having any trouble with the rugby league ball, but he's missed this kick.
He's missed the kick.
Yeah, the mock's on. 10-4, 15 minutes or 14 minutes gone here. Cessnock lead Macquarie. A very open and entertaining game. We wouldn't expect anything less from these two sides, or indeed from this competition. It's been very good attacking rugby league all season. Notice the proliferation of trainers in modern rugby league, Josh. You have a look here. There's 4 of them on the field at the moment. 2 from Cessnock, 2 from Macquarie, all in the Macquarie half of the field.
In absolutely no hurry to get off the pitch.
No, exactly
Not
right.
at all.
Just a leisurely Saturday afternoon stroll. There's still 3 on.
It's the advantage.
Now,
You've always got a water bottle with you, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Just got to have that prop. Here's Brendan Halat. And that was very enterprising there from Cessnock. Throwing the offload on first tackle, coming away from their own line.
Playing with plenty of confidence, aren't they? Really,
Yep.
Out to make a bit of a message, I think, today. It's a big moment in the match, actually, for Macquarie. You want to stiffen your defence now.
Well, they're going to give a penalty here to Macquarie for the offside. But dear, oh dear, Andrew Sumner, he came up like one of those Japanese bullet trains there. Came flying up out of defence and put the pressure on. Cessnock were trying to do a bit of a set play, but he got in between the lines and caused havoc there. And suddenly a good turning point, as you say. A very important moment in the game. And Josh Schmiedel takes it forward. Hyde and Moran. And here's Jeffrey, that's Matt Jeffrey. And they're making meat as well here, Macquarie. Plenty of tackles up the sleeve, they're looking right. Out the back to Moran, trouble here. It's Cantor, they're going to go wide to Hay again. He was good enough the first time, he's over the line the second time. And he's tipped over onto his back and thrown into touch. In goal. Good defence. Getting across in cover from Cessnock. And they protect their lead.
Yeah, great defence there. Good steady mind to hold him up. We'll have a little squiz at this one.
Here's the replay. So Hay looked like he had it, but Jared Edwards, he would have gone all right at the Pelican Sheep Station there. He just picked him up and threw him around on his back and over the sideline. What you say is right though, Matt. Josh, pardon me. They have been chucking it around a bit, Cessnock. Usually it's been what they've done when they've got a few points behind and had to chase the game. And in fact, some of their best football this season has been when they're 20 points behind trying to play catch-up. But there's a forward pass. That's not some of their best footy. Dan Metcalf on the end of it. Just a simple one out of dummy half, and those sort of things must irritate the hell out of coaches.
It looked pretty flat from here. We're quite in line, pretty much in line with that. We might have a quick squeeze.
It didn't jump out at me. It didn't jump out
It was
at
a
me.
short little pass, but it may well have been forward. We'll have a little squiz thanks to the boys there at William Hill.
Let's have a look. Oh, yep.
Yeah, she's
sure enough.
forward.
Yeah, we can cop that. It wasn't from dummy half, pardon me. It was Liam Foran at first receiver there. Now, that's Malik Diallo scored a very good try a couple of weeks ago against Curry. Now Schmiedel, he scored 2 very good tries against Curry last week in winning the Man of the Match award.
It was a big performance by Macquarie up there.
It certainly was.
Yeah, they looked in fine tune.
Yeah, they were behind for much of the match. Curry had a couple of hot periods in that game, but Macquarie came back and finished all over the top of them. Now Cantor didn't know much about that, but Diallo's ended up getting the ball, and he's nearly into touch. The linesman doesn't give
he's
it.
Done well there.
Yeah, he says he's stuck inside. Now Hyde, away to Moran. Moran's holding it up, and the ball's on the ground, and it's a good tip on there from Gallen. And now Thiessen Favielli, but he's wrapped up again by Edwards, who throws him to ground again, to critical acclaim from the Cessnock support. Very quick football here. Sumner puts it on the toe. And Woodbury's back there. It ended up being a bit of an anticlimax to that very, very busy set from Macquarie. But Cessnock still lead at 10-4 as they come away from their line. Decent crowd in here today. The grandstand's pretty full. They always get a few here. There's always the added attraction of the very, very high-quality steak sandwiches, which happen to be, in my humble opinion, if not the best, one of the best in the competition. So even if you don't fancy the rugby league that much, you can come along for a good feed.
Mate, there's a good feed at all the grounds, isn't there, these days?
That's true. Here they go again, straight up the middle, and that might be Willie Hetta with the ball. Backing up, good to see. And they're 40 out. The forwards moving the ball well for Cessnock today. We don't always see that from them. Here's Dan Metcalf. He's looking to throw it again. This one might not be so good. Connolly. And he ends up being dragged back a couple of metres. That's taken a bit of the sting out of the set. They've got one tackle left. Over to Foran. Jams it on the toe. And Cantor's got to go back and retrieve this. And does fairly well. He doesn't show any signs of the yips after that early mistake. And Macquarie can bring it back through Matt Hay. And Cantor's going to go again here. And that's not a bad run. He's very evasive back there at fullback. And he'll be dangerous late in the game getting involved.
Bit ginger after that tackle.
Yeah,
he's on his haunches there.
Yep. Could just be the fatigue of taking 2 hit-ups in the set, but you're right, he looks a little bit slow. Now Hyde away to Gallen. Gallen loves to pass, and that's not a bad one either. Out there to Allen, and now Jeffrey. And Jeffrey's passed a couple. And it takes a bit of a committee to get him down in the end. Reed Hugo and Sean Metcalf. Now Sumner goes to the air. And that one's bending around. And it's too good for him. It's too good for him. Brendan Williams over there. The ball was spinning and twisting up there in the air and just got away from him.
It might take you back to Diallo running down the sideline as well. We'll just see if we can catch. It was a good piece of work here from Macquarie. And he has... I
reckon he might have been out there. Oh, no.
We've just a touch out of frame. He's done unbelievably well to keep in there.
Yeah, he certainly has. An unbelievable sight from the linesman over there to see it. Well done. We've got to be fair, don't we? If we want the right to bag referees, we've got to tell them when they've done a good job as well.
It's a fair comment. It is, isn't it?
So, hang on. The modern scrum. That's a thing of beauty, isn't it?
Isn't it ever? Here we go with this kick too. Back on the William Hill replay. Just swirling in that breeze.
Easy enough to do.
Macquarie back on the attack.
And they are indeed on the attack with Hyde. And it's Schmiedel. He'll be dangerous himself close to the line. Yeah, sure enough. Dear, oh dear. He's even going to go past a couple and score behind the posts. He was that confident. Dear, oh dear. That was very, very soft. I don't think you'll see a softer try this season. Josh Schmiedel, there was nothing on, and he's just taken on a one-on-one defender, gone straight through, and even had the time to take the mickey out of them and score behind the posts.
I think I saw a dummy, even in the in-goal.
Yep. Yeah, the
just
fullback,
to improve the position.
Yeah, someone came across there for Cessnock to try and knock him over. He made it harder than it needed to be.
I tell you what happens with guys that are playing in good form, they just they happen to be in the right spot as well. A lot of things start happening for you, and sure, he goes through virtually untouched, but it's not luck. You've got to work for this, and we'll have a look at it. The Bar TV replay powered by the boys at William Hill. Here we go.
It's just one-on-one there and ends up being pretty easy in the end. He threw the dummy to put off Jared Edwards.
Look
And
at
I
this.
think,
I think it's the first dummy we've seen on
Here we
in
go.
the end goal. Has a little look. Oh,
oh dear. If that's well and good if you score. If you don't, you're an idiot.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It can
And the
backfire.
coach
It
is
certainly
not
can,
happy.
can't it?
I'm tipping the coach probably isn't that happy anyway after that bit of exuberance. As Favielli puts the kick
No,
over,
you-
locked up at 10-all here.
You could get a chat about that, couldn't you?
Talking of the Macquarie coach, of course, it was reported in the Herald through the week that Barry Moore will be stepping down at the end of the season. Adam Bettridge, who became the assistant here a few weeks ago, he's going to be taking charge full-time. He's going to be the head coach at Macquarie next year.
Yeah, fantastic coach too, Adam.
He did get a bit out of South when he was there.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did. And they were, I wouldn't say perennial. What am I looking for? Not favourites here, but they were probably underachievers. Came in and got a bit of structure around the club and reinvigorated a few things. Got that culture back. Toddy Hurrell's doing a fantastic job there now as well. So, I think Adam will do great things out here.
They've got a lot of the important parts, don't they? They've got some good attacking players, some good young players. They haven't had a premiership for a few years out here.
Always in the mix.
Always. They've made the finals every year since 2012. Now here's Chris Hyde, and he's going to try and jam a 40-20 here, and that's not far away. But again, the bounce defeated him. It pitched and went back inside like the old the wrong in there. And Geordie Connolly's got the ball.
I've heard people say before, that they also potentially have underachieved Macquarie, being in the finals, like you said, for a dozen years straight. But it's hard to win a comp. I mean, it's damn good footy around here. Only one team's going to win it. It's a bit of bad luck. A few things don't go your way and injuries at the wrong time of the season. But they're going to be there again, and especially if they can get up today.
Now, that was a very strong run from Sam Apthorpe, who's on in the 16 for Cessnock. So they've gone to their bench already. Here's Noah Easton again, and he's trampling over the top of one out there. Royce Jeffrey won't like that. That was straight over the top of him. And Stevens is in at dummy half off the bench. Hatter out there to 4, and they're up quickly on him. And good pass out there from Fatah out to Edwards. It's still last tackle here. He's going to jam it on the toe, and he's going to get it back if he can get there. And Cantor's ended up trapping it English Premier League style, and it's going to be a penalty for offside. Offside, penalty to Cessnock. 15 minutes to go in the first half. There's been plenty in this game already at both ends of the field. Highly entertaining.
It's end-to-end stuff, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It sounds cliche, but it certainly is. Putting some miles in the legs. This could even open up further in the back end of the second half.
You'd have to think, as you say, they're covering a bit of ground. Here's Alec Fatah, the captain for Cessnock, and he carts it up well. Now set out deep to the right here if the backs want the ball, but they go to Halad instead. Loves a snipe close to the line. He's already got one today. Foran's deep here, and they eventually go to him. He's got the backs lined up. Here's Hatter. Long ball, which is going to hit the ground over there, and Metcalf has to go back for it, and that's about the end of that backline move. They just weren't quite simpatico out there. And now Stevens is going to go himself through the classic dummy half dummy there. Hatter. Foran deep to Connolly. Connolly stepping, but there was no evading that time. Whack. Mick Moran round the legs. That's been the way to tackle for 108 years of rugby league. Now here's Fatah, and he's very close over there, but that's last tackle. He's had a go, but he hasn't got there, and it's last tackle turnover. He saw the gap, but couldn't get through.
I'm not sure if it was the best effort. Obviously, I would have eaten my words if he got over, but
again, it's
probably
a
not
good
the
play
best
if you get
option.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's have a look at this replay. Here he goes. And
we're a bit obstructed.
yeah, he's not quite there. He's only a few millimetres away. So here's Thiessen Favielli bringing it back. That was a great charge. He's run it 3 of them there. Hyde's in at dummy half, looking to cause trouble. Gallen. Favielli again. Won't bother him. He'll take it up again. Making good ground here. They started this set from about half an inch out from their own line, and they ended in Cessnock territory. Sumner, little chip. I don't know if Gallen's the quickest man to be coming onto it, though. And Connolly fell on it well, put his body on the line. There's Williams taking it out of dummy half. Now Joe Woodbury.
So 28 minutes gone.
It was interesting there from Blake Gallen. He's just tried to drag Sumner up by the jumper. And a forward pass out of dummy half here. The whole ground went up for that one. It did look fairly obvious. And referee Aylett says yes. So Macquarie with a good position to set up again here, with 12 minutes to go in the first half.
I think the boys will have a bit of a rest here. It's been pretty flat out for the first 28 minutes. Not a lot of stoppages, not really any time off, and very few scrums. So I think that they'll have a big breather. You can see them sucking them in.
Yeah, there's no shot clock yet.
Not yet.
On the
what
scrums.
do you think about that? Good
well,
thing?
I don't mind it. I think it'll be hard to police at the scrum at least, but I don't mind anything to speed the game up. I like the interchange though. It'll bring the little blokes back into the game.
Yeah, I agree actually.
Oh, a dumping tackle there, and they're going to pull this one up. It's Noble who's been dumped. I think his first run of the game, and the referee will have a bit of a word here. The other thing that the 8 interchanges will do, Josh, is it'll get rid of this rubbish of having the hooker going off for a rest during the game, which causes havoc with my Supercoach team. So, you know, anything to stop that, I'm happy with.
I agree. You want those hookers making 50-plus tackles a match.
Exactly right.
You know, 14, 15-plus sit-ups. Maybe a try assist.
Yep. Dive over
kicks in
try,
play.
James Seguiaro. Yeah, exactly.
Jab a 40-20 from
That's
dummy
what I'm
half.
looking for. That's what I want. Cameron Smith, you've been warned. You've got your orders. Here's Chris Hyde. Away to Moran. Macquarie in a good position here. And that's Khan Yonki.
Big lad too.
Certainly is. Now Hyde. Out to Moran. Moran throws a good short ball. And this is Noble. And he's
He's
back.
in.
And he's
Oh.
on. And his second run's better than his first.
No.
He's over for a try. Or is he? No,
Knocked it on.
Well, we're going to have a look at this replay. Because...
I think you could tell on his face he punched the turf. I think he's reached out.
He couldn't have been far away there. The arm came out, go gadget style. But the referee says
what.
knock on. That's a big opportunity.
I think
Lost
the
there
eyes,
for Macquarie.
the arms come out, the eyes have come out, everything. Let's have a look here on the William Hill replay.
He went
White
to that.
line fever.
It happens. It was
Good
a great
ball.
ball. Oh, again, Chris Hyde's in the way there. Very inconsiderate.
He's actually got. You can see the ball in his hand there.
Oh, yep.
and it's
Okay.
bounced.
He hasn't been able to get it all the way to the line. It's fallen out of his hand and
Yeah, I actually
ended
think
up-
he's probably decided not to reach out at the last second. He's
yep,
pulled it back in to tuck it under his wing, and it's
jarred out.
exactly right.
Well,
He'd like to have that one over again.
I'd reckon. So here's Hatter away to Reed Hugo, and he's stepping very dangerously out there. He's made a couple of half busts out there. Wide running back rower. And now Metcalf. And Metcalf straight up the middle. Here he goes. And Cessnock have got them going backwards, but they've only got a tackle to play here. Hatter away. Over to Foran. Up into the air. This is a test for Matt Hay. And they're all up for it. And Woodbury, I think it was Woodbury got a hand on it. And the referee agrees. It's turned over. Macquarie will get the ball back. But they'll be counting their blessings there because that was a very dangerous kick.
It was on out there, wasn't it? It was definitely creating that 50-50 chance. When you're 10 metres out, roll the dice.
They were all coming for him. There were about 4 chasers there trying to get on the end of that kick for Cessnock. Now, this has got to be a
He's got
candidate.
one.
That's got to be the slowest play of the ball in rugby league history. Thiessen Favielli over there. He was in the old World Championship Wrestling. They had him pinned for more than 3 seconds too. Dear, oh dear. A deserved penalty, you'd have to say.
Yeah, no kick out there. He didn't get to kick out and get his back off the ground.
No, we've got a bit tighter rules here than the WWE. You can't be picking up fold-out chairs and whacking people with them or any of that.
Might be after the game. is
Yeah,
it?
possibly. Though I noticed Marty Tapau had a bit of the
Ooh.
WWE moves last night.
I saw that online this morning. Actually, went to the fake bite.
A fake bite. It's an interesting move. I wonder if that's coached. I wonder if that's Jason Taylor's thinking. Just to unsettle them. If so, it's a shame he didn't pull it out earlier than the 75th minute.
Exactly right. I tell you what, he didn't miss with the swinging arm, did he?
No, he certainly
got Jimmy
didn't.
Maloney, good big one.
Well, you talk of Supercoach. James Maloney's another one of my players. I was wincing when that happened. Dear oh dear.
Yeah.
Here's Sumner.
Well, you wouldn't have wanted to have had Tapau.
No.
You lose a few going to the bin.
Absolutely. Here's Blake Gallen. And he throws the ball. He can get an offload away from Blake Gallen. And now here's Jeffrey. And they've had him pretty well contained over there. They've got 3 of them on him. And so Hyde, they're going to snipe the short side here. And Sumner bangs it back in field. Test for Connolly, does well. Does very well. I don't think it's his natural position, Geordie Connolly, but he's been doing a job back there. And he's pretty safe in defence. Now here's Jared Edwards. Already got a try today. Now Connolly. And he was looking to meet up there with Woodbury. Halad. He's putting in a really good shift today. Keen to take it up every single time. And they look right here. And that's that 16, Sam Apthorpe again. That's his second good charge of the game.
Yeah, good meters here for Cessnock, picking up 8 every charge, every carry.
Now Hatter. And he's going to go to the sky. Tough for Cantor, this one. Oh, he's got it. Very well done. He might be able to make a run of this, but Metcalf wraps him up. Wasn't the most vigorous chase from Cessnock. 6 minutes to go in the first half as Dale comes forward. Cessnock 10, Macquarie 10 on Bar TV. Here's Favielli. He'd be near the top of the hit-ups today. He's taken it up, I'd reckon, almost every set.
Yeah, you wouldn't be far off. He's had 1 or 2 in some instances too.
And they're up and hitting hard there on Matt Hay. Here's another one. Eager to cart it up and help out the forwards. Now Gallen.
Doing a good job wrapping the ball up there. Gallen always like to get that arm free. And
he's been trousered as well, incidentally. Now here's
one for
Moran.
the viewers. For the ladies.
Yeah, some of the viewers, yeah. Now here's Woodbury. And he's taken rather high there by Andrew Sumner. So the game's just steadied on a little bit, you might notice. The pace has slowed down a little bit. There's not quite so much goal line action. Possibly because the players are getting a bit tired with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Not quite as frenetic. Oh, that's a bit frenetic. That's Briggs on Williams, I think, out there. Whack.
And I do think the heat would...
Aylett gets involved. Possibly prompted by the vitriol from the Cessnock supporters down here. And I think
giving
that's...
it a bit.
They certainly have.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the heat today would probably be knocking them about a bit as well. It's been a lot of overcast football, the past 2 months. And really, it's a warm one today. And I know they'd be feeling it out there. Full sun, there's not a cloud in the sky.
Makes a nice change for the supporters, I can tell you that.
Certainly does.
A couple of weeks ago at Central, I think I said on the call, it's Douglas Mawson and Ernest Shackleton reporting in from St John Oval. Dear, oh dear. Here they go. Hatter, Foran. Back inside. This is nice football. And Connolly came back inside doing his best Billy Slater impression there.
Whoop. He's been dacked as well.
Oh, he has. What's going on out here?
Full
dear,
moon.
oh dear. It's like a hen's night out there. Here's Hugo.
Keep an eye out for the Bar TV Sports Facebook page during the week.
We might be able to do a highlights package. The best
Full Moon
Daxings.
fan club.
That's it.
Get the
Here's
girls to
Apthorpe.
pick the best one. Give a pair of skins away or something, you reckon?
Yeah, maybe. It's not a bad promotion. Here's Hatter away to Metcalf. He'll be dangerous from this close. And he is. He gets it away to the other Metcalf. He'll be just as dangerous. And as they disappear behind the canteen, there's Williams. And it's last tackle. Last tackle. They've turned it over again. There's been a bit of that today.
I would think three or four times for both teams
Yep.
combined, maybe a couple each, because I don't know whether they're losing count or they're not hearing it, because it probably wasn't really on that time. Again, go to the air, roll the dice when you're that close.
If you put the ball under the goalpost, we've seen a few times in the last couple of weeks, just a kick under the goalpost can cause havoc. Here's Briggs onto the field in 14, which means that's Randall Briggs. His last game was against Curry in the centres, where he had a bit of impact out there, but with Royce Jeffrey back in the side, Briggs is back on the bench. Now Hyde, back inside's created a gap there for Jeffrey. And a penalty. Marker's not square, I think might be the ruling there.
Bit of ill discipline there. 2.5 to go.
Getting a bit ratty, isn't it? A few penalties coming in.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Barney Miller would like that one.
No, there's been a bit to displease him in this first half. A bit of soft defending and a few penalties.
Well, look, they can win his trust back if they can hold him out here. Nice stiff set of defence. It's 2:25 on the clock. Be good to go in for Oranges at 10 apiece. It's probably a fair outcome, really.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Not if Macquarie can do anything about it. This is Simon Allen. That's a great charge. He's very solidly built and he hit the line well there. Now Gallen. His work rate's been lifting in the last few minutes, possibly sensing the other forwards are getting a bit tired. Now Hyde. Oh, we've got problems here. Brett Stevens is on the ground. He's going to get to his feet, I think, but might have just copped one going in for the tackle. He already had the headband on.
Let's have a look at what's coming up here on the Bar TV replay, powered by William Hill.
Let's have a look.
Oh,
Nope.
Just the head in the wrong position.
Yep.
There.
Just copped
Just gone the wrong side.
Oh,
Actually, he's
straight
gone right
down
in
the
the
middle. Yep. Never a good place to be. Now here's Hyde. And they've got a chance here with a couple of minutes to go. Favielli out there to Cantor. Cantor's got pace. Cantor's got plenty of pace. And he wrapped around onto the wing and gets over for the try. 14-10 with a minute and a half to go. That's a biggie for Macquarie.
That's huge. I mean, that lifts your spirits walking back into the sheds. I think we said before, everyone looks tired. Just that little moment off in play there with the head knock. Get the chance to set a line, spread it wide, and they're in.
You could see they lifted the pace as soon as that play the ball happened. The Cessnock defenders were standing still, and suddenly Macquarie were coming at them with a lot of quick passes straight away.
Yeah, they wanted to put it on straight away.
Yep, and Nathan Cantor turned up where they wouldn't have expected him, all the way over on the wing. We'll have a look at the replay in a moment, but
We've pretty much got the put down. After looking at the head knock,
oh yes, I see.
We'll have a quick squiz at that, but yeah, here he is. Here you can just see his boot laces slipping
it was a
out.
despairing effort down low, but the overlap did the damage. The extra man. You do see the fullback come into play all the time, but you don't often see him over to the right of the winger, do you?
No, you don't. Cantor can sniff a try out though. Obviously, that's a set move. 20 out in the perfect spot.
Yeah, very nice play. And Favielli, he's known as a bit of a battering ram out there, but was good enough to get the pass away. Now we've got a new goal kicker, I notice. And he's put it over.
Found it
Thank
too.
you very much. Well, whoever he is, it's a good kick. I didn't quite get the number before he started trotting back.
He's
I don't
got a
know
big grin on his face. I say
certainly
he's pretty
does.
happy.
Oh, it's Matt Hay over there. So I don't know why Teeson Favielli's been sacked, but this is going to be about it for the first half because there's 3 seconds to go as they run back. Cessnock are making a bit of a cursory effort to come back to the halfway line, but that's going to be the lot for the first half here at Lowell Peacock Oval. 16-10, Macquarie lead it. Very entertaining game too, it is. Josh, what do you fancy after that first half?
Look, I don't think there's a lot in it. I think I mentioned just before they scored that try that 10 apiece was probably fair. In saying that, good move put on by Macquarie, 2.5 to go, and they walk into the sheds 6 points up. Look, that kick could really be the difference in the end of the day. Banging it over from the sideline, converted try. I mean, they'll be going into the sheds here pretty happy. I can see Adam Bettridge down there giving the boys a few slaps on the back. And Cessnock, I mean, look, they probably won't be too disappointed. They had to fight a few shots, probably carried the ball in the last a couple too many times. Yeah, well, I tipped Macquarie. I guess, I still think it's a coin toss.
Yeah, I think that's probably about right. We might go to a break here on Bar TV for a few minutes. We'll be back in time for the start of the second half. As we go to the break, Macquarie 16, Cessnock 10.
Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics.
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Welcome back to Lyle Peacock Field for the second half here, round 11 of the real NRL. And Macquarie lead it at the break, 16-10. Cessnock, well, they probably got a spray off the coach at half-time, I reckon. There's been a few too many mistakes and a few too many penalties and some pretty average options on last tackle. Whereas Macquarie, they should be fairly happy. They've always got a mistake in them from time to time in a game, but they've been pretty good today, and they're good value for a 6-point lead. I've got Josh Mason with me taking us through this game. My name's Morgan Campbell, and Josh, what have Cessnock got to do in this second half if they're going to get back into it?
Look, I don't think they've got to do a lot different, to be honest. I think they'll, maybe complete those sets a bit more. I guess, your fifth tackle option, I said it before half time, they ran the ball a couple of times where they probably should have went to the air. Other than that, mate, they're in the game by a mile. 6 points, nothing in it. Keep doing much of the same.
Well, we're away for the second half, and they're going to try and make that not bounce over there. They've done well. And Dan Metcalf comes charging back for the second half. Macquarie and Cessnock, a big game for the make-up at the top 3 and the top 5. And Reid Hugo's taking it forward. Macquarie, with a win today, would complete the double over Cessnock. They beat them away up at Cessnock Sports Ground in round 4. And this has always been a bit of a bogey ground for Cessnock, so there would have been some supporters who have seen the odd loss here over the years. Here's Stevens away, and Heta. And Heta goes wide straight away here to Sean Metcalf. And he's had a few half breaks over there, hasn't quite busted them open yet. But I think it's down to Heta and Foran if they're going to come back into this Cessnock. They need their halves to start steering them around. And here's Heta to put this one into the air. It's got plenty on it too. Through comes Hay. Does well. Does very well. And he's good enough to beat a couple. He's beaten 4. What a good run. A very good run from Matt Hay. Got the first try of the game. He's been very safe over there on that wing. And here come the Macquarie forwards.
So I've got a half-time score here, Morgan, from the West Curry clash, 14-0 to West at this stage.
That's not a huge surprise, I wouldn't have thought.
No, it's
Curry
not a lot of points, but yeah, West, they might pile a few more on, I suppose. So Curry is still in the mix.
Curry
it was 14-10.
Oh, 14-10.
Yeah, 14-10.
Okay, well, that is a bit of a surprise. Curry are in
right.
that. They are playing for their season, though, Curry, so you would expect they'd have a bit of a dig in front of the home crowd. They'd love nothing more, that old boys to stand down there. They'd love nothing more than to see them knock over West. So that'll be a big day there.
We can assume that they're running home to that end if they won the toss.
I'd imagine that's the way you'd pick. It's like running with the breeze. As here goes Hyde, and he gets a good ball away here to Briggs. And if Briggs can throw the pass, they're in. Oh, what? He can. It's Andrew Sumner, and he scores the first try of the second half. The man in his 100th game, and that was brilliant from Briggs there. It looked like he'd been cut off by the Cessnock defender, but he was good enough to get it around the corner eventually, and Sumner snaffled it up and goes over for the first try.
Well, talking about what Cessnock had to do to stay in this match, that wasn't one of them.
Stop the offloads.
Stop the offloads. I tell you what, there was some absolute beauties amongst that try. We'll have a look at this. We'll cue this up in a second. But, that's just how Macquarie wanted to come out. It's a hard thing to stop. That's scoring with about, a minute and a half to go, the end of the first half.
So 5 minutes on either side of the half-time break has cost them 10 points. It might cost them 12 if Matt Hay slots this kick.
Yeah, that's a costly 5 minutes of footy, that, isn't it?
Absolutely. We're going to get the replay in a minute as Matt Hay's lining up the kick.
Here we go, Bar TV. A replay powered by William Hill. Let's have a look. Talk us through it, Morgan.
So it's Chris Hyde. A pretty simple ball back on the inside there to, I think it's Randall Briggs there. And eventually he got it away to Sumner, backing up. And as I mentioned, in his 100th game. He would have loved that. Very important player for Macquarie.
I really like that ball there. Hyde's ball, a short ball, no look.
Yep, cutting back on the angle against the grain. Very dangerous. Matt Hay adds the kick, 22-10, after 3.5 minutes here. And I reckon I've seen a fair bit of Cessnock this year, and I reckon that's the 4th time this year that they've let in a try in the first couple of minutes of the second half. It's happened a lot.
It makes it hard for yourself, doesn't it? You've got to just lift that little bit more now. Yeah, it can really knock the steam out of you. Come out of the sheds at half time pretty pumped up. I'm sure Barney gave him a bit of a serve for letting that happen at the end of the first half. So they're really going to try and whack these guys here. Gallen with a good charge.
You're absolutely right. You might see Cessnock start to chuck it around a little bit. We have talked about that. When they start to catch up, or try to catch up, they start to use the ball a lot more. Oh, that's a bit wild there from Liam Foran. He swung into that tackle, and I think the linesman, Greg Ryan, might have got involved. There's a bit of stench. Foran's been binned twice this season already. He was binned twice in the first 4 rounds, including against Macquarie in round 4. Tom Aylett's going to call them out. Yeah, Liam, here he comes.
Look, I think he gets a fair bit of attention. People can get pretty chirpy against him. He doesn't like it. I mean, he's a super competitive guy. He'd be filthy at what happened to start that second half. Unfortunately, we don't have the ref to listen to at the moment. We'll have a look at this tackle.
I think he'd be... I can probably summarise. I can't lip read, Josh, but I'm tipping he's probably saying, listen, mate, calm down.
He's laying the law down, isn't he? He doesn't look happy.
He went a very long way around it, though. It was a pretty long chat.
Here we go.
Oh, now he did fall a little bit there. I
don't know if it's all
Jordan
that bad,
Noble.
to be honest. I think it's...
He did fall, but he swung into it a little bit. It's the intent, I think, more than anything. It's the big swinging arm with the shoulder. It wasn't a particularly damaging tackle, but it could have been. In fact, Noble might have saved himself by being a bit lower as he went in. So here's Yonka. Macquarie's forwards are keen now. There's Noble again. He's already got a try today. And a good one, but he's lost the ball here, has he? Oh, no.
He's told him to go back and play it.
5 centimetres. It's a very pedantic game, rugby league in 2015. Away to Gallen. He loves the pass. There he goes. And this is Allen. And Allen's through one. And they're not
arm free.
Yeah, he did. He was looking for it, wasn't he? Here they come. Macquarie looking to go 3 tries clear. They go the short side. It's Sumner. And he ended up being barrelled over there by Sean Metcalf. Now they'll have to open it up to the right, you'd think. But they don't. They go back the short side. I'm a mug. Here's Sumner. Away to Cantor. And they're not far away at all. Last tackle. Can they find a kick, force another set? Sumner on his left. It's a shonky old kick, but they're going to get the ball back. Dear, oh dear. In fact, they're going to get a penalty. And there might there might be a temptation to go for the posts here. He was offside. The first Cessnock player came diving through to knock it down. They will take the 2. The second Cessnock player was offside.
Let's have a look here on the William Hill replay. Yep, and then, I don't know, Was he behind him when he touched that?
He might be unlucky, He might be very unlucky. It's Alec Fatah who was penalised.
I tell you what. There's not much in it. I mean, he's ended up in front of him.
No, there's not much in it at all.
I think it's a tough rule sometimes anyway, you know? I mean...
It was Sam Apthorpe who knocked it on. It is a tough rule because it's instinct, isn't it? It's reflex. You see the ball and you dive on it. But it gives Matt Hay the opportunity to put Macquarie 14 points in front.
Yeah, it's a...
You mentioned in the first half that kick that he put over just on half-time might be important. This is why, because suddenly Cessnock were got to score 3 times to get back in the game.
There's plenty of time on the clock, but certainly wouldn't want to be in this position.
Yep, he puts it over and lands it on someone's roof. I will never understand why anyone would park behind the goalposts over there, because you're always an outside chance of ending up with a dent on your windscreen, a dent on the roof, or a chip in your windscreen or something. But still, every week, there they are. I park as far away as you can, over near the Workers' Club over there.
It's a nice spot over there too. They love it on the tellies.
Bit of exercise on the way through, lovely.
I tell you what, it's a good crowd here today too.
It is. We mentioned that before. The grandstand's very full, and they're getting behind Macquarie.
Well, Cessnock travel pretty well too. They always like to come and support the boys.
Yeah, and the lower grades tend to stick around. So there's a lot of the players from the lower grades here. I heard the big call from the Cessnock supporters down on the George Caesar Hone Hill there. Fire up, Cessnock. That's the call. They're not necessarily liking what they're seeing. Here's Khan Yonke.
So the final first grade match of today should just be kicking off now out at Lakes. Twilight games out there on a Saturday, 4 o'clock kickoff.
Yep. Up against Maitland Lakes. Maitland probably the first team out the trapdoor this season on 5 points. It'd take a miracle for them to get into the finals. It all started so promisingly. They won in round 1 on the bell against Central. They were 32-16 in front with 10 minutes to go against Cessnock in round 2 and ended up dropping the points and having a draw. They could have been 4 points from 2 games.
That was a phenomenal game, wasn't it? You called that game.
Yeah, it was sensational. That was the first time we mentioned about Cessnock chucking it around as this kick's going to go dead. But they could have been 2 wins from 2. And since then, they've only won 1 game since round 2 and are still on 5 points. So they've ended up in the quicksand. And Lakes will fancy that today.
So you mentioned the lower grades from Cessnock like to hang around. Scores from those 2 matches as well. In the open grade game today, Cessnock got away with it 32-14. And in reserve grade, I should say, 26-16 to Cessnock as well. So they're 2 from 3 at this stage. This one, however, looking a little less likely.
Yeah, quite right. That's that reserve grade side. Cessnock are coming 4th. They haven't been competitive in the finals in reserve grade for a few years, as he's 4 and away to Alec Fatah. Of course, Bar TV will be bringing you all of the finals, all of the grand finals, open grade, reserve grade and first grade, as there's a penalty to Cessnock. The coverage on grand final day from Hunter Stadium, that'll begin about midday, you'd imagine. So you can really park it up in front of the computer all day and take in some rugby league. Now, it's getting a bit ratty up here in the grandstand. Gallons had an extended chat there with Tom Aylett, and the crowd didn't like it much, at least the Cessnock components of that crowd. Half an hour to go here. The comeback might start here. It's Alec Fatah.
It needs to start, doesn't it, Morgan, now?
Yep.
Really.
Just for confidence as much as anything else. Here's Halad. They're looking left here. Dimmick turns it back inside, forward. Hatter, long ball, spilt ball. Spilt ball over there, and Cantor can counter-attack.
You know, I think they had numbers to the left here too.
Yeah, you might
decided
well
to
be
go
right.
put the move on the right.
They went back across field. There's a bit of a swinging arm in there from, I think, Dan Metcalf, who might be getting a bit wound up. And here's Royce Jeffrey.
We'll have a little look at that final play there from Cessnock going right.
Yeah.
Ball's on.
Yeah, I think it was Woodbury out there. Not Woodbury, pardon me. That's the 18 out there. That's Corey Barber onto the field and spilled it running into the gap. Now, Corey Barber's back from the UK. He went at the start of this season over to play for Lee in the second division of the English Rugby League. As here goes Mick Moran. He's in the first division of the Newcastle Rugby League. He gets it away to Favielli, and they're going to score, Macquarie. They're going to score.
Oh, he's going
They're going to put it out
sticks.
to 28-10 with a kick to come from under the sticks. He'll eventually put the ball down. And Macquarie, they're 3 tries clear and counting.
Well, I tell you what, we might see on the replay here, it looked like not a lot of effort from the Cessnock outside backs once he sort of made the break. I might be wrong, but it looked
It was
like
pretty soft out there, wasn't it?
It was soft. You know, he still had a bit of work to do.
They went to that right-hand side. There wasn't a lot of art about the play. There wasn't too much about it. Let's have a look at the replay. And as we go to that replay now, let's have a look. Pretty simple stuff. Moran, he just threw the dummy and went straight past Dan Metcalf. And as they loomed up on the right,
Just there,
Favielli
you know,
was just too quick. Had a cup of tea, put the ball down. All very nice.
60 metres.
Yep.
A couple of good passes. And that blows it out to 28 with a kick to come from dead set straight in front.
Yeah, 28-10. They're going to be 20 points clear here. Yeah, they are. 30 points to 10. Macquarie over Cessnock. And this
Now
has
it's
got
a task.
Oh, it's a task, all right. This has got shades of round 4, where they ended up winning 38-18. It was a similar scoreline for a lot of the game. Cessnock in that game scored a couple to get back into it late to improve the scoreboard. So it's a very tall order now. Now that's a long kick-off again, but it's over there to Sumner, and Blake Gallen's going to bring it back for Macquarie. And they've got that roll on. This is what they can do, and this is why I mentioned at the top of the coverage, they're a bit of a smoky for the premiership this year, because they can play like this. And they throw a lot of offloads and come in for a lot of big tackles. And if it works, they can be very hard to stop.
Yeah, I'd expect it to get a touch fiery now, and I think the coaches of Macquarie, and certainly for next year with Adam, you'd be looking at them just to bunker down on this one, not let the niggle come into the game.
Yep.
And try and finish off strong.
Chance for 40-20 here if this finds the line. It's not going to, but it might not find the dead ball line either. No, it will.
It's gone all the way.
Only just. That was a good kick.
But yeah, I think Macquarie just like to settle into the last 30 minutes of this match. Obviously try and hold Cessnock out completely, but certainly not get caught up in any of that, niggle, which will definitely happen. There's no doubt.
That might be a strip. Yep, referee says yes. A strip there on Willie Hetta. There's been a little hint of niggle a couple of times. Nothing too serious just yet, but the day is young. 25 minutes to go. There's hope yet.
There is.
That was a pretty big kick for touch there. So they're going to start a set 35 metres out here. Cessnock. And that might be Corey Barber bringing it back. What I was saying is he was playing for Lee in the second division of the English Super League. They might indeed be in the first grade English Super League next year. They're on their way to promotion, Lee. But he's back playing for Cessnock today. Now over there to Liam Foran. And a good short ball. That's the 15 on the field, Cal Orchard. And he's made a bit of ground. Now Foran. Cross there to Metcalf. He's bumped past one. Another opportunity to fire a shot here, Cessnock. Stevens across to Hetta. Hetta back inside. Oh dear. Sean Metcalf absolutely poleaxed by Briggs. In fact, it might have been Briggs and Associates there. The two of them were involved. Here's Hetta. He's going to kick over there towards Edwards and towards Woodbury. It's spilt. It'll be 6 more. It'll be 6 more. They can start again. Foran down the short side.
This is where it's got to start for Cessnock.
Here they go with Stevens. Going to go short. Noah Easton back on the field. Looking to lift the forwards.
Getting set to the
Dear
right.
oh dear. There's the prowler tackle. Down low from Randall Briggs. And he's ended up being held up over the line. They needed a subcommittee to get Noah Easton to the ground there. Now they've got numbers left and right here. They go over to Hetta. And Hetta might run this. He goes short. To Barber again.
He's lost it.
He spilled it. Well, that's 2 from 3. He's had 3 runs. He's dropped the ball twice. So a tough introduction. Now there's no dummy half. That was the mousetrap with no mice. But they get away with it just.
It's a shame they got held up then. You get pushed back to your 10. Defensive
that's
line
right.
gets to reset.
It's one of those things, and it slows everything up. It's
Everyone
a
can
stoppage.
get their mind back on the job.
Yep.
When they actually had the line set to the right, if that ball gets up and gets played quicker, I think Cessnock, have a better chance out wide there, but come back and they lose the pill.
Now here's Schmiedel, and he's taken well down the around the legs by Edwards. That's been the tactic all day. Now Moran. Moran goes for the chip and chase. It's ended up falling nicely for Sumner. He gets it on the toe. He gets it on the toe again, back inside. Now Gallen, they're still going. Back to Sumner. They're still going over on the left. They've got the numbers. They should score. Sumner goes himself. Oh, he's turned it over to Metcalf. And Metcalf's away up the other end. Connolly's down on the halfway line. Here goes Metcalf. Up to halfway as he's taken down. They've covered 40 metres both ways, the sides there.
He's blown time off here. Connolly, is it down?
He's in trouble.
Yeah, he is. He is moving now.
He looks a
He
bit
rolls over
crook,
on
doesn't
his
he?
back,
Let's have a
yeah.
look.
Looks like an
Yeah,
arm.
it doesn't look well.
Let's see if we can go back and find out what actually happened there.
And with the fullback being down like that, it left them very exposed. Gave Metcalf that space to run into.
So he's been caught up here. We'll go to the William Hill replay. Let's have a look at this.
Let's have a look. It was
It's
Sumner
towed through.
sticking it on the boot and then the flick pass
Ooh.
back inside. And I reckon if that flick from Sumner had gone to Moran's hands, they might have had a problem, Cessnock.
And
it
that's
just
where
bounced
Connolly's been hit too.
And slowed it up. Oh, yes.
So he's down.
He
Keep
might
the
have
play
copped one
rolling.
on the way through there, you know. I reckon if you look at that again, Brendan Halad might have accidentally come through and just got him with a knee
Bang.
in the back.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe.
through there.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, has he? He's just...
Or it might have
Sort of
even been a
tripped
bit of
over
a
him.
kick on the back of the head.
We're back to live action.
Yep. So entirely accidental, but a little bit of a nasty one there for Geordie Connolly. So here's Stevens. Connolly looks to have gone off. So Joe Woodbury's come in centre field. It looks like he's playing on the at fullback. Cal Orchard's gone out onto the wing. He's played a fair bit of that position this year already. Here they go with Foran. Foran back inside to Woodbury. In the centre of the field where he doesn't often get. They go left. Foran. Flat ball out to Orchard. Here's his first test. Here's his first try. Oh, forward pass. They've taken it off him. Well, it was a great pass from Liam Foran as far as finding the man, but they've called it forward. I reckon this will be a replay.
We've got one here.
Half the crowd think it's an inspired decision. Half the crowd think it's absolutely wretched.
Let's have a look at this.
Let's have a look. It's going to be hard on this view, but
Let's see where
it's
he...
going to be hard to
where's his
tell.
feet?
But he's about 2
He's
metres
about
out
2
from
metres
the
out.
10 metre line as he
Yeah,
throws
I'd say
it.
that's forward.
And Orchard's about 5 metres out when he catches it, so perhaps it was a little bit forward.
She's gone a couple of metres.
Insult to injury, the markers weren't square, and Macquarie have a penalty. We're getting into that territory where you say, oh, you know, maybe it's not their day. They've got 21 minutes to score 21 points if they want to win this game.
Yeah, so the Bar TV clock a little bit out. Obviously, it's not the official clock. But we have
Yeah,
got
it's a
one
good
here.
indicator of where we're up to. Now, Schmiedel's made a bit of a hash of this, and they're away. And it's Noah Easton. And he's passed one. He's passed a couple. Noah Easton, this is a big run.
He's
And
had
there was a
good
bit of
game,
stench
hasn't
there
he,
with
Easton?
Hedder. He has. He's had a good season. Now Hedder. And they've gone to the right. Williams. Still going. He's finally dumped on his back. They've got a full set here to do some damage. If it's going to happen, it probably needs to start now. Metcalf. Short to Metcalf. That was an easy call. They're set out very deep here. Hatter. Foran. It's a bit slow early on here. Hatter. Foran goes himself. They've still got them set out to the left. They're very flat to the right. And this is a bit slow here. And it's Halad. Everyone was standing a bit too flat there on that right-hand side. Stevens. Over there to Hedder. Hedder to Metcalf. If he's too strong, he gets it away to Hedder again. There'll be an
What's he
inquiry
say?
to the referee again, but he's going to give this one. Yeah, he is. He gives
try.
it. It's Willie Hedder who scores. And Cessnock have got one back. It's 30-14. The big offload from Dan Metcalf.
Mate, he's a hard man to stop. I tell you what, I thought he was going to go over himself, actually. Good ball.
Well, it's a standard play close to the line for Cessnock, isn't it? They love giving it to the Metcalfs. Close to the line to try and barge their way over. And well, Dan Metcalf couldn't barge his way over, but he could get the ball away. And Willie
Here we
Hedder
go.
was clever enough to get back in support. Let's have a look. It's pretty simple at this stage, but Hedder just stayed alive there. And there might have been a hit of
tell
forward
you
pass.
Ooh.
I did have the thought. That's why I said there was an inquiry to the referee. He looked like he really just threw it forward, didn't he?
Let's have a look. He's still behind him, Oh, jeez. I tell
The,
you what,
the way his
I-
arm moves.
You look at the instant reaction here, even on slow-mo of all the Macquarie players.
Yeah, they knew. There's four of
10
them.
hands in the air.
It was like they're going up for an LBW, wasn't it? It was all on. But the way Metcalf's arm came around like that, it really could only have gone forward.
Yeah, really, it was. You know, when they talk about which way it came out of the hands, Well, it certainly went forward out of their hands in that instant. Unless there's not a gale. There's no big
no, it
nor'easter
didn't go
blowing
forward
in.
in the wind. No, yeah, that's right.
They need a
have
bit
had
of luck, though.
They did. They've had a couple go against them. We remember that penalty goal that they conceded off an offside that probably wasn't. So not quite a square up, but one that goes back their way.
Sure, they won't knock it back.
30-16, 18 minutes to go, pardon me. Time enough if good enough. But that penalty goal might end up being very important.
Yeah.
Here's Noah Easton. It was his charge that started the move.
I'd love
for
to
that
see his
try.
stats today. He's a metre eater today. He's chewed him up.
Certainly has been. He's only young too. He's only just come into first grade. Didn't start the season in the first 13, but was making so much of an impact off the bench. They had no choice but to promote him.
He's got a good future, hasn't he?
I would reckon. If he keeps developing and keeps getting better, I think he could even outgrow this league. As here's Willie Hedder and Dan Metcalf and Corey Barber. He has a bit more joy this time, takes a few with him. And they're working him very hard in the tackle. Now Sean Metcalf. There was a bit of chatter about the Macquarie staff when they found out Corey Barber was playing today. Here's Hedder to Foran. And it's gone down. It's Alec Fatah who drops it. There wasn't a lot on.
Bit of a let off.
Joe Woodbury, who, as I mentioned, is playing fullback, he's trying to lift them, telling them to keep the talk up.
It's probably a touch early to get on the go slow, although you can see Macquarie, 16 minutes on the clock, on the official clock. They will start to drain it now.
Yep.
And just through attrition, they can probably, shave 3 or 4 minutes off that pretty quick.
Yeah, and make Cessnock panic a little bit. Bang it into touch, make them pack scrums, all that.
All the while still 3 converted tries away, really. We'll take the win with 3, but...
Yeah, that's right. So that's Sumner taken down over there. And now Hyde, and that's a low pass, picked up very well by Randall Briggs. Oh, pardon me, Isaac Briggs. I wouldn't want to misattribute the skill there. This is Randall, gets it away. Gallen, Moran, Schmiedel. It's been to Macquarie's credit today that they've trampled all over Cessnock, and yet Schmiedel hasn't been that dominant. They haven't relied on him, which they might have done in previous weeks to get wins. Now, this is a big kick over there, but Brendan Williams does well. Does very well. Cessnock with a tall order here. 15 minutes to go. 14 points behind and 90 metres from the try line. And that's Cal Orchard getting involved. Very versatile player. He's won a penalty. He won a penalty for offside.
Quick play the ball, Macquarie keen to get out off the line and
That's right.
get a bit of relief for Cessnock.
So Foran's launched this kick. That might not find touch. Oh, no, it will. It's ended up being pretty good.
Chunk of ground off.
Cal Orchard, very versatile. He's played on the wing. He's come on off the bench to play in the forwards. And they don't lose too much by having instead of Joe Woodbury. Now here's Easton.
Crowd getting into it now.
They certainly are. The Cessnock fans urging them on here. Here's Foran and Metcalf. And he's looking to pass it, and he might have been too clever for his own good there because there was no one to pass it to.
Does that
And he
go down
didn't.
as an offload to yourself?
To yourself, maybe. I don't know.
Stats?
Yeah, look, possibly. It wasn't bad. Good piece of skill. Here's Halad. The Cessnock crowd aren't happy with the lack of runners coming through in support.
That'd change the fantasy side, wouldn't it?
Certainly
you could
would if you could
throw yourself
throw it
a try
yourself.
assist to yourself.
Now here they go. Out to the right with Metcalf. He reeled that in well, but he can't do anything more with it, I don't think. And he goes down about 7 metres away. Out the back to Heta. And he kicks it across field. This is dangerous. Edwards is going to reel this in, is he? Oh, he's got it in the end, but they're going to call knock on. They're going to call knock on and give Macquarie the scrum feed here. It's another one that hasn't quite stuck for Cessnock. And time's trickling out of the hourglass now. 13 and a half minutes to go. Still 30-16.
It's another one of those ones. I swear he was facing his opposition try line, his own try line. It does come over his shoulder. We'll have a little squeeze here at this one on the replay, the William Hill replay.
He might be unlucky there. It
Oh,
rolled
gee.
off his shoulder and down his back, and it's hard to see how that goes forward, but Oh, here we
these
go. I've
days.
just said that Josh Schmiedel hasn't done too much today, and he's carved them up straight down the middle. And he's away from one. And they're going to finally reel him in, are they? No. They're still not able to drag him down. Eventually they do, but he's taken 40 metres off them. What a good run. He's been quieter than usual, despite scoring a try. But now he's down, possibly with a bit of cramp behind the lines. Play goes on. That's all right. There's 42 trainers out there who can help him out. Now here's Hyde.
They're all out there, aren't they?
Gallen, very short ball, very flat ball. Couple of tackles still to go here. Hyde. Moran. Moran still. Moran still. Moran away to Hyde! Great play.
I think
He's
that's
had a
it.
good one today, Mick Moran. And that was very slippery work close to the line. He rolled away from a couple of tacklers and had the wherewithal to get it inside to Chris Hyde in support. 34-16. I think they can queue it up now.
Yeah, I think that's the knockout blow. Cessnock were hanging in there. But Chris Hyde, he's always hanging around there, isn't he? He's always sniffing around. Good support player. Moran's had a belter of a game. Both halves
has.
have. Some I think, it gets to that moment now with 11 to go. Do we start thinking who might pick off the man of the match too? We've got the Dus Houndhouse man of the
I
match
was
as
about
well.
to mention that. The Dus Houndhouse $50 voucher for man of the match.
From one sponsor, the Dus Houndhouse, to the William Hill. Here we go.
Some very good stepping in there.
It was just a good line back across from
It
Hyde.
was.
He sniffed this out the whole time.
It's
hasn't
one
he?
thing
You
to
know
be in
it's coming.
support. It's well and good being in support, but to be in support and spot the gap
Yeah.
and be hitting it off the back fence, that was very good play.
And Mick Moran spinning around there, you could tell him looking for someone to be charging onto it. Would have been very happy to see Chris Hyde in the corner of his eye flying through. See if we're going to add the extras.
So here's Hay, and he's got it. He's been perfect today. He didn't get the job first up. Originally, Thiessen Favielli was doing the kicking, but Matt Hayes kicked the last, I think he's kicked the last 5, hasn't he?
He's looked really good, hasn't he?
5 from 5 today. They've scored just the 6 tries today, Macquarie. They're always good for about 30 points. It's just a question of whether they can keep them out.
So back out to 20.
Yeah, 20 points in 10 minutes. We're getting into Harry Houdini territory now.
Yeah, we
But
are.
we'll
There's
get
the
the short
short
kick-off. And Edwards has won it. And Schmiedel, Hyde's landed on it. There might have been a little knock-on in there. There was. Chris Hyde landed on the ball, but then got the fumbles as he hit the deck. So the kick-off doesn't quite have the required, the desired result, but not a bad second prize.
We're a little disappointed there, wouldn't you be, with that one? We'll have a
It
look
did
at
look
this.
like the ball just bobbled out.
Yep. Just there, he just
Easy to do.
just goes out of his grasp.
He might have thought he held onto it, but a good spot there from either the referee or Greg Ryan, one or the other.
And Macquarie not super keen to pack the scrum for
I
some
wouldn't imagine.
weird reason.
Yeah. Now this is a very elongated tackle. What's going on out here? He's still not down. There we go, eventually. Well, that's taken a bit of time off the clock. There'll only be 5 minutes to go by the time he gets up to play it. It was Willie Hetter over there. Now Metcalf.
I think 6 guys had to go
Yeah,
try
my
and
word.
drag him to the ground.
Now he's a bit slow getting up. He was rocked back there. Now Halad. And Halad will have a go himself. Stevens is back on the field in at dummy half. And they go to the right. And that's a long ball out there to Hetter. And from Hetter, and it might have been knocked on over there by Sean Metcalf. It was. It's just been that sort of day for Cessnock, hasn't it? They've tried plenty. They've had plenty of ideas, but none of them have worked. 36-16, 8.5 to go.
Yeah, it's been a bit like that. And especially it's been, unfortunately for them, a lot of those mistakes have come in the 10 metres from the line.
Yeah, they've had plenty of chances. They've had the ball close to the line enough times. Haven't been able to come up with the same quality. Blake Gallen's come off the field. I reckon that's his first break of the day.
Yeah, I haven't noticed him come off.
And very well deserved too. He's had a cracker today. As we mentioned, we've got to decide that Das Hundhaus man of the match. We've got 8 minutes to decide it. I'm leaving that in your capable hands, Josh.
Ooh,
Well, I'm
gee
leaving
whiz.
it partially.
Okay.
Like,
I'll need some advice. I'll
Yeah,
like some
okay.
advice.
Thiessen Favielli with the ball now.
I do have someone in mind at this stage. And
Okay.
it's going to see what happens in the next 7.5.
Yeah, you never know. Someone might stake a late claim.
Exactly right.
So Nathan Cantor with the ball now. 7.5 minutes left on Bar TV. Morgan Campbell and Josh Mason bringing you this match of the round in the real NRL, and one which it looks like will have very significant consequences for the top 3 as well as the top 5. As the ball goes over here, that's good play, and that's Briggs. It's Isaac Briggs with plenty of space to run in, and he's got support. He chose not to use it. Dayalo's into dummy half though, and there's a penalty the other way. You don't see that very often, the penalty against the team with the ball. Isaac Briggs just taking a bit too long to get up and play it, I think. Well, they're saying
That's a very strange penalty,
I don't
isn't
know
it?
quite what that movement was. That looked more like a dance move from the referee. He might have been saying that he might have said that he went off the
Stepped
mark.
off the mark?
Came too far forward or something, yeah.
Let's have a little look at it, hey?
I want to see the refs move again, never mind the play. Let's have a look. He gets up,
He steps to the side.
jumps forward. I don't
Oh,
know.
He didn't touch it with his foot, but I mean,
Yeah, he did.
is that what it was?
I think it's for coming off the mark. He did really lunge forward, but I don't know if that's a penalty offence. As here's Joe Woodbury.
Yeah, okay, so he's advanced the ball.
Yeah. Often they just say go back and play it, but not
It's funny,
today.
isn't it? So there's discretion there, is there?
Seems that way. Here's Foran over to Edwards. And that was very vigorous in there. Edwards up against Favielli. Don't know who I'd fancy in a fight there. There's Foran back inside to Metcalf. Metcalf, he's been doing this all day with varying levels of success. Good hands by Heta. And now Barber. And Barber's got past one. And he wasn't far away there. And they're set out to the left. They're pretty flat though. Heta. He might have to go himself here. They came up and circled him. And he's still going Heta. Ball comes spewing out the back. Metcalf. And the winger wouldn't have fancied seeing him running, but that's last tackle. It's another turnover on last tackle. We've seen it too often today from the Cessnock halves.
We might be up to 6 now with that.
It'd be close.
Yeah. It's a real anticlimax, isn't it? Even from a viewer's perspective. And
Getting some good advice over there from the blokes on the hill, by the way. I don't know if they're lower grade players or what they're doing, but they've got plenty of coaching little hints and suggestions, I suspect, for both Cessnock and Macquarie.
Yes. We'll have to throw a mic over in that corner.
Yeah, maybe.
Next time we're here.
I think we'd want to be on delay for that.
Yeah, we need the. What's the big red button that we can beat people out?
Yep.
Not sure if we
Now,
can
what's
do
happened
that.
here? Thiessen Favielli's down.
Time off.
He's clutching his knee, but he's also talking to the referee here, and there might be a bit of trouble. There might have been something go on in this tackle.
Ooh,
I think we might need a replay here.
people don't seem happy, do they?
Favielli's up onto his knees, but the Macquarie players are having some words with the Cessnock players here.
Let's have a look at this. So the Bar TV
Let's have a
replay
look.
powered by William Hill.
That would
is
be
that
what they're
what it
concerned
is
about. That's
there?
very nasty. That's not nice at all from Jared Edwards. He's deliberately grabbed the leg and tried to twist it. That's awful.
Ooh.
And that's the sort of play that can really hurt someone. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
I think
don't
he's
know.
all right, actually, but
He is. But I don't know why you would want to grab a bloke's leg like that and wrench it around unless you were trying to injure him.
yeah, look, it's only really one outcome with that stuff.
Yep. So a
Or
very
maybe two. A really bad injury and a penalty.
Yep. He's unlucky.
Both not good for this guy doing it.
Very fortunate that they've got neither. But I think you'd like to think the judiciary would be involved in something like that. That's well and good pulling blokes up for reckless high tackles as Cantor goes away. But something like that can end a bloke's season.
Yeah, and possibly more, actually. You know, that's
Yeah.
you can do a really, definitely a season-ending injury.
Oh, Metcalf came up quickly there, and it's a forward pass. So Matt Hay, or Simon Allen, sorry, took that run on in vain in the end because it was a forward pass to him.
So 4 minutes 25 on the official clock. We're about a minute out.
Favielli is coming off, incidentally, if you look over the back here. And looking a bit... and looking a bit ginger too. So he's gone over the side. They can't take him off at the scrum. Randall Briggs, there he is. He's looking a bit sore. And you'd hate to think you'd miss a week because of, or even a couple of weeks because of something like that. Now, here's a kick forward from header, and Woodbury's going to win the race here, but Dalelou's coming like a flyer, and it's going to get there first. And it ends up with Noble, who doesn't only get it up, gets the ball, but gets out of his own in-goal. So they've done very well there, Macquarie. Now Royce Jeffrey, and they've got numbers over this side. Joe Woodbury's still down in the in-goal, and not looking too comfortable either. Daleou showed tremendous pace.
Got some good friends in the commentary box next to us, Morgan. Some of the Cessnock juniors.
Yeah.
Boys and girls. I think the eldest might be 4, maybe.
Yeah, I reckon that's about right. Chucking
Future
around.
commentators?
Yeah, possibly, or Goannas, yeah.
Yeah.
As here's a kick downfield. This might be a chance of a 40-20 as well, but it might not go into touch. And in fact, Williams or Orchard are going to have to play here. And Orchard ends up falling on it. And it's a penalty to Cessnock. So offside might be the ruling here. It's good to see that the real NRL programs are so easily adaptable into paper planes as well, Josh.
Yeah, I've seen a few flying around. I think are they going for our
well, I haven't
our cameras?
I haven't worn one yet, so that's a plus.
I'll tell you what, he's kicked that
From
well and truly. He's
that
kicked
was-
it from
that's
about the
32 metres out. he's
exactly
kicked that,
right.
and it's ended up right on the try line. It's a beautiful kick. They're unlucky in the end to concede the penalty. 2 minutes 20 to go here. And, oh dear.
We're looking for the ball. There we go.
So Corey Barber takes it up. It's probably not how he thought his return to Australia would go.
You wouldn't plan it this way.
No. 36-16, Macquarie over Cessnock. And it's almost a replica of their win in round 4. And in many ways a
Snuck
replica
up a
of the
little
performance. Now there's going to be a penalty here for a high shot. And there might be a little bit more. There's a shove. Look out. It's been bubbling away today.
Oh, he's getting a bit restless. I'd like to give a shout out to Pete Jolly as well, who's not here today. He's down in Sydney. His old man hasn't been too well, so we wish Pete all the best, and he's in our thoughts.
Yep, absolutely
I'm sure
right.
he'll be back, sometime soon, possibly next week. Although we've got the bye round next week, don't we?
Yeah, that's
the
right.
washout round.
Yep.
And at this case, look, last night I thought that we might have filled one of those positions.
Yeah, I did have that thought myself, I must say. But no, it looks okay. I don't know what Townsend Oval will be like for tomorrow. But yeah, we do wish Pete all the best and hope he's back soon. As there's Heta, and he's just got absolutely clouted. And I reckon he went into
That's
touch
a shoulder
there.
charge too, I'd
It
say.
was.
Is it?
I reckon he ended up over the sideline, but the linesman didn't think so. And they'll play on. It's not going to be of too much import. Cessnock having a go here with 50 seconds to go. Stevens. And now a short ball, and it's Barber. Macquarie's defence is still eager, and they've fallen on the ball there, and that's never been allowed. Chris Hyde diving in the ruck. As time ticks away, 30 seconds. Cessnock looking to put one on. You never know when points difference might be important. And Dan Metcalf charges up. And they're set out to the right and to the left. It goes to 4 and it's a dud of a pass. And I think as the Macquarie crowd lift behind that, that's the sort of day it's been for Cessnock. I think that little bit of play probably sums it up. That will be the last we'll see today as the final hooter goes. And, Macquarie have had a big win here today in the real NRL. They've knocked the Coalfield sides off one after the other. They beat Curry last week. They've beaten Cessnock today. And they find themselves on 12 points, only a point behind Cessnock on the ladder, and level with South Newcastle. So they're well and truly entrenched in the finals now. That final five's pretty much set, I would reckon. Josh Mason, your thoughts on the game and your nomination for Das Hundhaus Man of the Match?
Well, thoughts on the game. Macquarie looked good. Got a bit scrappy towards the end, a bit of drop ball, and but that tends to happen when you one side's down by 20. The game sort of falls apart a touch. But they look good. We mentioned not getting caught up in any niggle. They seem to stay away from it. I think the coach would be happy if Macquarie, like you said, sort of cements themselves for another finals season or series. Cessnock, look, they had some good players. My pick for mine was the big man up front, actually, Noah Easton for Cessnock. I thought he was just chewing the ground up all day. But Das Hundhaus, I think probably Andrew Sumner.
Okay,
or
in
Mick
his,
Moran.
in his 100th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
I reckon Moran. I'd give it to Moran
Yep.
today. Yeah, if we have to pick.
all right.
I reckon
well,
Mick Moran's our man. Set up some of the tries that really took it away from Cessnock in the second half. He had a blinder. They both did, actually. They're very important to this team. Looking at the ladder now, as I mentioned before, they go up to 12 points, Macquarie. And with the margin here today, they've actually got the best points difference in the real NRL. They've got a
Right.
differential of plus 66, which is better than anybody. And that could be very handy indeed. That could be the difference between a home semi-final and an elimination semi-final.
Yeah,
so that's a very big result for them to go 20 points clear here today. So that's about it, I think, for this afternoon at Lyle Peacock Oval. The final score, as we mentioned, Cessnock, Macquarie 36, Cessnock 16. A big win for the Scorps today, a big defeat for Cessnock, and after that loss to Central a couple of weeks ago, that'll be some very worrying form indeed as we come towards the finals. 3 games to go in the real NRL. Everything's starting to get sorted out now. But we'll leave Lyle Peacock Oval for the day. Thanks very much, Josh.
No, thank you for putting up with me, Morgan.
Oh, it's
Late
not
ringing.
it's not as hard as you think, And we'll be back next week on Bar TV. Oh, well, no, we won't. We'll be back in a fortnight on Bar TV. Next week is the washout round, so unless there's a deluge overnight to wash out Townsend Oval, we'll be back in a fortnight's time with more real NRL. But until then, I hope you've enjoyed this match as much as we have. I'm Morgan Campbell, signing off from Bar TV.
Real guys, real sport. Bar TV.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics.
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.